everyone. We're gonna have another interesting topic today. I know most of you like to hear from Yamaha, like most of my followers after the Yamaha content, but this time we're gonna spice it up a little bit and we're gonna talk about KTMs. Like, who is this 2024 KTM for? What's the good things about this bike? What's the bad things about this bike? And overall, what's the upgrade that KTM made to it? And we're gonna start with the good stuff, and then no, actually let's start with the bad stuff, and we're gonna end up with the good stuff, so you guys leave like with a good feeling after that, because this bike it's not bad, but it has its downsides. So let's just sit down and let's get right into it. Why not? Already, let's jump right into it, just like I said a few minutes ago. Okay, got comfortable enough, let's get right into it. KTM 300 2024 XC. I'm gonna make another video when after this one, when I'm actually putting the XC compared to the XCW, and I'm gonna tell you the benefit to having the XC and the benefit of having the W, and the the downsides to having both, so you can choose which one you like better. It's gonna have very interesting insights most people don't know, but yeah, that's another episode. So right now we are at a long-term review doing on a KTM 300. I bought this bike early 2023. I don't even saw any other people had that bike that early, and it has its downsizes. The bike was so new. This is a newly developed bike. It was at the time, and the number one downside was KTM practiced on the customers. So what I'm ending up with, this bike backfired a lot of times. The power wasn't there, but the potential was there. So we just have to get the potential out of it. So it's a lovely bike now, but it wasn't like that at the beginning. If you're going to the dealer buying a bike like that, 24, 25, even if you're getting a 25, then you're not gonna have these problems what I had to face with. Some of them you do, which is huge, but for this engine you're gonna be alright. This bike has a electronic power setup. Previously KTM didn't have that, it was manual, and they changed the injectors. Now it's in the throttle body. It's still kind of crappy because the valve at low RPM on the way of the fuel, so so you have the valve over here and you have the injector here, and it's blocking the fuel to get in. But that's not the topic. That's just something, well, it can be better, but it's not bad the way it is. So the bad parts is, let me tell you a few stuff which is not really good on this bike. Let's start with something smooth, and then we're gonna go harsh as we're going in deeper. Swing arm. For those guys who riding on the rocks, like serious rocks, like Idaho, Montana, wherever, the swing arm is not strong enough on the 24. You can end up having a hole into it or a serious scratch. They fixed that on the 25 model. So if you buy a 25, then you're probably not gonna have that much of a problem with it, because like I said, they changed it, so it has a different swing arm at 25 than it is in 24. That's okay. So yeah, that's most people doesn't have that problem, not gonna face with this problem. Like I said, if you're seriously going in doing off-road enduro stuff, then you're facing with this. Easy way to fix that, putting the plastic swing guard on it. There's a lot of great company out there who makes a really good protection for that, and back in the days it was just the gadgets, like it make the bike look better. But on the 24 you actually, you want to put it on if you do a serious enduro. Number two is the gas tank. That's kind of like most common, what most people know. It's bad. The way the pickup is, the fuel pickup is, it's underneath the seat, on top of the frame, on the middle. It's not ideal. I don't know what KTM engineers thinking about at the time. Every single tank has the pickup on the lowest point of the tank, not halfway. What that gives you, you won't be able to ride all of the fuel out of the bike. You can if you ride kind of aggressively, changing, jumping, or like I would say jumping, going through lugs, because then the fuel keep going into that area, so you still can feed your engine with fuel. But sometimes you just ending up, have to stop and lean the bike over to put it in the right spot. That's like on the very less reserve, I don't have that problem. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't take the bike that far to reach its limit, but it can be a problem. And it's, there is a solution out there. You can actually buy aftermarket parts, but again, you're buying a bike for almost $13,000, and you have to buy another aftermarket options, which is not cheap, I tell you that, just to be at the level of any other bike is. So that's not good right there. And the third part, that's the biggest one, I don't like. I don't like the cylinder being made overseas, made in Asia. That has its downsides. You can argue with me, you can tell me, oh, those companies are making excellent scooter parts, and you're probably right, but those are scooters and this is a race bike. But I'm not gonna get into it. Me personally, I don't like the fact the cylinder made in Asia, and I actually had my problem with it when I took my bike apart. I replaced the pistons in about 30 some hours, 35 hours, and that was serious mark inside the cylinder. I was able to hone it, and now it's fantastic. But a lot of other people wasn't that lucky. They have the cylinder breaking, either when they put it together, they didn't line up the cylinder head, they ended up breaking it, or it just breaking on its own, or the other options, when they put the cylinder head on, the stripping the tread, Highland cycles, he's a motorcycle mechanic, and he knows what he's doing, and he ending up messing up the tread, so he had to put coil in there to fix it. Okay, so that's quite unusual for KTM in this age, but I understand, because they're losing a lot of money lately. Economy's down, far as people not buying enough because the interest rates are high. So I understand, and we're gonna have the worst part of that at 2026. That's when we're gonna see how much KTM really gonna get hurt, because everything what they did, the development, the new e-bike, what KTM came out with it, it's all been on the progress for 3 years now. So they're gonna suffer, and what I heard, we're probably not gonna have enough two-stroke models at the dealers. So you may wanna keep this bike, good or bad, because you probably won't be able to buy it like you are now, because they reducing the production. Plus they have to have a bike which is capable of doing a higher grade emission in Europe. Like he has to pass a higher grade emission test, which is they are not ready for, and that's still questionable if the two-stroke can do that. But anyway, back to the topic. So these are the bad stuff about this bike. Mainly, there is a lot of little knickknacks. The switch, the start button, it's crap. If you're racing, the startup button is just a no-go. I had that map switch button on it. I broke it on the trail. It just, the quality is not there. If If you want to fix that, you can put the older style button up there, which is, start on the right, stop on the left. It works very well, but this setup is not good, and I can go on with a bunch of little knickknacks, but any other manufacturer has this. That's kind of like the easy fix, but the other ones are quite major. So the good thing about this bike, to me, the number one is the suspension. This suspension is the best stock suspension what you can buy as a new bike, on the new bike. That's a big statement, and you're gonna tell me, oh, the KYB suspension is better. And then I'm gonna tell you this design is quite similar to the KYB suspension. That's why this suspension is quite good, if you know what I mean. So KTM actually ended up going back to the drawing board and looked at the KYB suspension, and they tweaked it a little bit, but it works quite close as the KYB. So suspension is excellent. The engine is, man, I mean, the possibilities with the power valve, with the injection system, and with the engine management system, overall ignition and stuff by TSP, it's huge. The options are endless. The reason why I like this bike so much, because the options are there to do whatever you like with this bike. If you want to keep it stock, so you can do that, no problem. That's easy to do. If you want to modify it, like me, I grew up in an era. My first bike was a 350 two-stroke. That's what I learned riding. So I like aggressive power. That's just my nature. So what I do, I like to get more out of every single bike what I have. What I ended up doing, I made this bike quite more powerful than it is in stock form. And doing that, or be able to do that, it's huge. And when it comes down to choices, I think Yamaha is the only other manufacturer who has that much of an aftermarket options to make the bike exactly the way you like it. And that's exactly why I don't talk about Shercos and Betas and other bikes, because those bikes are lacking a lot of aftermarket parts. It's just not available for those bikes. So this bike is excellent. It has a lot of aftermarket parts that you can buy for it. You can make it exactly the way you want it. The power in the stock form is extremely linear, especially in a W. I rode a W. For me, that's like a sleeper. It needed to be wake up. But when it comes to hill climbing, rock climbing, very good traction all the time, constant traction. It just pulls you up on the hills like nothing else, and it doesn't break the traction with the extra power. But to me, if I have extra power, then I can just rev the bike out and just go up, in a fast speed. That's what I like to do. I don't always can do that, but when I can, I just going on the rocks at fast speed, and I know I can make it. It's not really technical, but it works. So this bike is really good with suspension, engine, ergonomics. I have a extra triple clamp on it, 22mm offset, and with that triple clamp, the bike cornering like a dream. I actually race with this bike, so that's the other thing why this bike is so good for me, because I can race with it, I can show up with it like with skills, because balance on the bike is quite good. Not as good as on the 450 Yamaha, but on two-stroke bikes, the balance, like when you're balancing yourself, is very good. And you can use it obviously on the mountains. That's what it's made for. So the versatility, it's huge. So you're not gonna get wrong if you get one of these. I think the 23, I'd not recommend this. There is a number of reasons. Those bikes are, I don't know what KTM thinking over there. The connections, the electrical connections are not good on those. And they tell you to disconnect and connect the connections. I'm wondering what you're gonna say when you're buying a new car and the dealer tells you when your engine is not running, or just start unplugging the connections and put it back together, and eventually you will find which one is the wrong, and then you can use the car just fine. So that's KTM reaction on the 23 bikes. I think that's not good, but anyway, the 24 is an excellent bike. If you get one, just do it and you're not gonna get disappointed.